All right, hey y'all, so this is our Unit 3 quiz review. If you'll notice, this first part is really a review of middle school math, but that's okay, we didn't really do it in class. I'm gonna show you some shortcuts to do this side over here, and then I'm just gonna punch these into a calculator. So I'm gonna show you some shortcuts. So to add fractions, and remember we have to simplify when we finish adding, but to add fractions, I need the bottom numbers to be the same. Well, we're gonna use a little cheat here. I'm not gonna worry about what my common denominator is or getting my bottom numbers the same. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do 5 times 1, which is 5. I'm gonna do 4 times 3, which is 12. I'm adding, so I'm gonna put a plus between them. And on the bottom, I'm gonna do 4 times 5, which is 20. Well, 5 plus 12 is 17, and 20 on the bottom. So we used a little cheat. Now, we always have to check to see if that number will reduce or that fraction will reduce, but you can use your calculator for that. Remember, so if your answer was 17 over 20, you'd hit the double arrow button, and if it didn't give you a smaller fraction, if it goes to a decimal, that means that this was the simplified fraction, or if you hit enter and it stays a fraction, then that is the simplified fraction. All right, so on subtraction, we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna do 4 times 5, which is 20. We're gonna do 3 times 2, which is 6. And guys, you have to do it in the order that I'm doing it in. And then it's subtraction, so I'm gonna put a subtraction between them. And then I'm gonna do 3 times 5 on the bottom, which is 15. So now I'm gonna do 20 minus 16 is 14 over 15. Let's check to see. Stayed, when I hit enter, it stayed 14 over 15, so that means that is simplified. All right, so now multiplication. Multiplication is easy. All I'm gonna do is multiply straight across. So 3 times 8, you can punch that into your calculator, gives you 24. 2 times 12 also gives you 24. Sorry, that should be a 24. If you don't know what that equals, punch it in your calculator, hit enter, and you'll see that it really equals 1. So that's my final answer. Now division. Division is probably the hardest one because you have to remember a rule. We're going to keep, change, and then flip. So we're going to keep that 3 over 5. We're going to change the division into multiplication, and then we're going to flip that fraction. And now it's the same as up here. We're going to multiply straight across. 3 times 3 is 9. 5 times 2 is 10. Let's check this 9 over 10. Hit enter. It stays 9 over 10, so that is correct. So guys, if you want, you can, I'm gonna just show you how to punch it in the calculator over here. So we're gonna do 2 over 5 plus 3, and that gives me 17 over 5, and you can leave it as an improper fraction. Next, we need to do 7 minus 1 over 6. That gives me 41 over 6. And trust your answer. If you punched in right, then that's the right answer. Let's do 5 over 9 times 11. $55 over 9. And then 5 over 9 divided by 4 is 5 over 36. So now I'm going to show you what you have to show me on your paper. You have to show me, at least circle what you're multiplying. At least circle what you're multiplying. At least show me that you're multiplying straight across. At least show me that keep, change, flip. If you don't show me that on your quiz, you're not getting full credit. So on this one, even though I punched it in my calculator, I would still have to show 3 is really just 3 over 1. You'd still have to show me that you multiplied those two together, you multiplied those two together, and you multiplied those two together. So that's the work you would have to show me. On this one, same thing, you'd have to show me that you multiply those two together, that, and those two. That's the work you'd have to show me. On the multiplication, you'd have to show me that you multiplied straight across. You have to show me those arrows or you're not getting full credit. On the division, you have to show me that you keep, change, flip, and then multiply straight across. And then you can just punch it in your calculator, but you have to show me what's written right here on all of them. All right, so next, so this is our original equation, or our given, right? I think on our practice ones in class it said original equation. So this one actually has room to do our work over here. So the first thing we're going to do is distribute. Remember, just go ahead and solve it. And when I distribute, this becomes 2x plus 12 equals negative 24. My next thing I would do is subtract 12 from both sides. That gives me 2x equals negative 36. And then what did I do next? I divided by 2. And that gives me x equals negative 13. So if you would have done that on another sheet of paper, hold on, I'm gonna flip it over. So I've got 2x plus 6. And this is really how you probably should do it. Equals, what does that equal? 20, excuse me, negative 24. So here's how you would do it. Distribute. Subtract 12. Divide by 2. That should be negative 18. What did I put? I put 13. That should be negative 18. All right. So next thing you're going to do is circle everything that has an equal sign. And that's what's going to go on this left-hand side right here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 things. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 things. So next, this is going to tell me, this distribute, this subtraction, this division is going to tell me what's going to go down this side right here. Well, the first thing I did was distribute. So that's what's going here. The distributive property. Oh, not, remember it's just property. The distributive property. The next thing I did, I subtracted. So that's going to become the subtraction property of equality. The next thing I did was divide it by 2. I don't care what I divided by, I just care that I divided. So that's going to be the divided property of equality. So there's your front page. All right, so next. Jaden has a prepaid phone plan, Plan A, that charges 18 cents for each text sent at 15 cents per minute for calls. A lot of words, but let's pull out, or it's called text mining, let's pull out the important information. So if Jaden uses only text, so we're only talking about this 18 cents for each text for right now. We're going to write an equation for the cost of sending text. Well, it's 18 per text. It's 18 cents though, so that is 0.18. How much will it cost Jaden to send 15 texts? Well, I'm going to take that 15, I'm going to plug it into that T. So now I've got C equals 0.18. Oh, I did that backwards. It doesn't matter though. I put the parentheses here, and I should have put them there. So I'm going to do 0.18 clear. I'm going to do it how it's supposed to be. So it should look like 0.18 parentheses 15 parentheses $2.70. Don't forget, you have to show me that you're talking about money, $2. You have to show me the dollar sign. So now if Jaden has $10.26, so that's his cost, right? That's how much it's going to cost him. So now we've got 10.26. How many texts can he send? So we're using this equation, but now we're solving for t. Well, to get t by itself, I need to divide both sides by 0.18. So now I've got, create a fraction, 10.26 on the top, 0.18 on the bottom, 57. So I can send 57 texts. Don't forget, you have to answer the question, right? All right, so now, what if Jaden only uses the talking feature? So now we're talking about this 15 cents per minute. So write an equation for the cost of talking in minutes. And now we only care about that 0.15. Don't forget 15 cents is 0.15. How much will it cost Jaden to talk for 15 minutes? So now I'm taking 15 and plugging it into that M right there. That gives me 0.115 for 15 minutes. I'll plug that in, punch that into my calculator. And that's going to give me $2.25. Again, make sure you tell me it's dollars and not just 2.25. So now Jaden has $23.10. It's basically telling you that's how much his bill was. So that's his cost. $23.10. That's going to equal 0.15. How many minutes? So now I'm solving for M. Remember, I keep going back to this equation. So I need to get M by itself. So I'm going to divide by 0.15. Don't forget that decimal. So that gives me 23.10 on the top, 0.15 on the bottom. That gives me 154. How many minutes? Make sure you write minutes. All right, so now what if he uses both talk and text? So now we're going to use that equation combined with that equation. The equation is going to be C equals this 0.18 t plus 0.15 minutes. All I did was combine these two equations. All right, so how much will it cost Jaden to send 7 texts and talk for 12 minutes? So we're looking for the cost. 7 texts, so 7 is going to go into t. Remember, you use parentheses when you plug a number into a letter. He talked for 12 minutes, so M is going to become 12. Well, guys, I have no more letters on this side of my equation, so now I can just punch that into my calculator. It's going to give me 0.18 parentheses 7 plus 0.15 parentheses 12, and that gives me $3.06. And that is the end of your quiz review. Remember, we'll take our quiz the second day of this week, your second face-to-face day.